Howdy, hello, and welcome back. My name is Sajay Preferred, and today we are celebrating 3 years of the Preferred channel. Welcome back. So as mentioned, for those who do not know, my name is Sajay Preferred. You are watching the Preferred channel, and hopefully you have been watching the Preferred channel for 3 years, because today, special day of all days, actually tomorrow, hopefully this is coming out on time, we are celebrating 3 years of the Preferred channel, 3 years that I put this channel together, and it has definitely been a rough ride. I know you're probably thinking, girl, how are you? Ooh, the camera is moving. Girl, how are you celebrating 3 years when you've been MIA for a bit? Completely understandable. There's been a lot of things going on, and don't worry, all of the things are going to be explained very, very, very soon. We're actually going to kind of touch base on like what to expect of said explanation, because that has been a long time coming for sure. But today, to celebrate 3 years of the Preferred channel, we're going back to what I very first did on the channel, which was a get ready with me, a process of how I become my drag self. Not really much of a difference. Whenever I first started the channel, I did a video where I did my go-to face. And I wanted to do that again because it has been 3 years. A lot of things have changed. But also I wanted to do something differently that I did not even do in the first video, which is go in detail with how I do my face and the products I use. I feel like I know I'm a very cheap girl. So a lot of the products I use are very, very cheap. And I feel like that comes in handy, especially when, starting drag. I still use things that I used the same exact products when I started drag 8 years ago. So I feel like having that little tidbit of information is definitely helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and prep everything on the table. My skin and eyebrows are already prepped. I know that's technically cheating. Don't worry, I'm about to tell the products of what I use to do said prepping. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly get everything nice and clean. And then we'll be back to start the Preferred makeup tutorial, the Preferred way, where you get to know all of the good information. Everything is freshly prepped, clean. I am one of those girls who, if I don't have a clean station and everything to where it needs to be, I'm not going to have a very successful process of getting a makeup. So everything is clean, freshly slated. As mentioned, I did go ahead and prime and do my eyebrows off camera, but don't worry, I'm about to tell you what I use. I'm also going to list, as mentioned, I'm doing this very, very differently than I did the first time. So I'm going to be listing products that I use. Also ignore the background. The last Becoming you saw did have a background. I was going back and forth of what I wanted to do. Since it's kind of like a celebratory video, I was like, you know what, let's keep it raw and unfiltered and have the background and the photos and everything showing. So that's what we're gonna do. But something I have used, I think since I've started doing drag, very, very close to it, is a lot of drugstore. A lot of drugstore. I am going to be listing the products and the prices as mentioned so that you can kind of see. And also I'm curious how much it costs me to get into drag face-wise. But I'm going to be listing those for you. And I will go ahead and put it out there. Some of these items are free. I do work at a makeup store and I do get free items quite regularly. So if they're free, I'm going to tell you that they're free. Also, in the process of all this, please ignore the stuffiness and the grossness of my voice. I am literally getting over sickness. That is why some ideas were cut a little short. So whenever I prime for drag, I do use e.l.f. literally quite often. I've used it for quite a bit actually in drag, just because I feel like it is the easiest to go on. I literally started doing drag with the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This is actually the exact one that I used to use. But I honestly prefer this e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. They make it in like a putty version. I'm not a huge fan of the putty specifically because I hate getting it under my nails. So I really love this. Sometimes if I'm doing, like I know I'm about to be sweating and being on stage for a second, I will use that e.l.f. Jelly Pop, or even sometimes the NYX Marshmallow Primer on like my facial hair area, because I feel like they stick a little bit better. This is super cheap and I buy frequently. These two I know for a fact I got for free. So that's the only reason I use them for real. This I continue to buy on a daily and highly recommend. Speaking of the e.l.f. though, I usually use e.l.f. for my eyebrows on a regular. Like if I have no eyebrow products and I need to buy one, I will honestly buy this like $2 instant e.l.f. brow pencil. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I just need to put the brow on. I don't really care about what the brow looks to begin with. As long as the brow is on, I'm completely fine. However, though, I have been going between these two that I literally got for free. So if you had to buy these, please do not buy them because they're probably not worth it. For me. But today specifically, I used the Benefit brow one. I kind of, they're just different ones, to be honest. This one is like a darker one. The Anastasia one that I have is a lighter one if I'm doing lighter hair. Recently, I've been doing more like in detailed eyebrows. So I really, as mentioned, just need to slap them on and go. So they're just, it's just an eyebrow pencil. That's it. Use whatever makes you happy. And honestly, I'm going to be very for real. Use the cheapest. The cheapest, 9 times out of 10 is all you need. You don't need a $30 pomade. You don't need this $30 Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade to get your eyebrow on. Half the time they look like blocks. I promise you. Whenever I'm starting my face though, I usually immediately start with the eyebrows. That's why usually 9 times out of 10 when I'm doing videos, you always see me with my eyebrows on, because I literally will do it before primer so that it's not slippery in the area. Usually I do go in and do like the darkening of the brow before I go in with the concealing part, which I'm about to do. However, as mentioned, I've kind of been into like the more realistic eyebrow. So that's what I'm gonna go for today. And in order to do that, I don't have to do anything into my eyebrow until the very last minute. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and start concealing around said eyebrow. And I use the LA, I always get them confused. LA Girl and LA Colors, which one are you? I really don't know. It's, oh, why would you put it in white when it's LA Girl? Anyways, I use this, why would you do that? Why would you put it in white? I use this LA, so that's the T. So I just realized LA Girl is this one. This is a very common one. It's like $6 and I feel like everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about the LA Girl white base, white concealer. Anyways, that, it's okay. It's all right. I feel like I've always used it because I'm like, I obviously need a white for drag. And it's like, at the time it was like $3. Now this is like $6 and not really worth the $6 at all. Because you'll kind of see once it blends out, it definitely blends out. However, if you can find the LA Colors, and I just realized that's the difference. There is a difference. LA Girl is the Pro Concealer. LA Colors has this Conceal It. This is like $1.50 at Walmart. If you ever find it, get it. It is so incredibly good. It's so incredibly hard to find for some reason, but it's literally like the LA Girl one, thicker and cheaper. So I'm gonna quickly go on and slap this conceal of a brow on really quick, and then I'll come back and explain what I did just so that you don't feel like you missed anything. The brows are officially concealed around. I'm looking absolutely insane. That's how you know it is working and you're doing it correctly. So as mentioned, I did say I was gonna give, you know, some tidbits of what I do if it matters. The biggest thing I feel like a lot of people do when they or struggle with when it comes to eyebrows is just finding the placement of their eyebrows. This is completely up to you, and also this is going to depend so differently, obviously, depending on your face. I always like a very high but out brow. I don't really like a very slant or curve or arch. I feel like for my face and for my eye shape, it does not work for me. So it's really just kind of depending on what works for you, what works for your face. And honestly, trial and error is the only way to find that out, unfortunately. When it comes to sponges, I'm like the worst person to ask. I used to be set on a sponge from, I think it was called Beauty Bay. Can't remember. It was literally only at Target and online, and once they stopped selling it at Target, I stopped buying it because I'm very old-minded and I don't like buying stuff online. It literally terrifies me, and I constantly feel like I'm gonna be scammed. So I never buy stuff online. Therefore, I prefer to shop in store, especially when I work at a makeup store. So I switch a lot between beauty blenders because all of them are kind of trash, especially compared to the beauty. I'm gonna find that name of that beauty sponge and put it right here because that sponge was the best sponge ever. Right? I've recently been trying these e.l.f. ones because I use a lot of e.l.f. products. So I'm like, well, let me try their sponges. Not gonna lie, they're kind of trash, especially this one. It's like the Halo one, I think. It's just not good at moving product around, but I do like it for this inner corner piece because you'll see when I do my concealer later that it really will snatch up a nose, and I do love that. And of course, I know what you're already thinking, what foundation? So this is when, this is a question that I'm like, I don't know if I really should be sharing because I don't know. Sometimes I go really back and forth if I like this foundation, but I think I do. I really think I only like it because the color match is so good, but the coverage is really, really good too. It's the L'Oreal Infallible 32 Fresh Wear foundation, and I'm so pale. I'm 405. And I think that's why I like it so much because it's such a great match. It doesn't make me look orange at all. Before that, I used to use the Maybelline foundation, the Poreless, I believe. It was really, really good. I noticed though that it would constantly come off whenever I performed. And so I just stopped using it and started using the L'Oreal one. It's actually kind of funny because this one wasn't supposed to be for me. It was supposed to be for my boyfriend partner who was doing drag, and he wanted a new foundation, so he got that one. And then he just never really used it, so I started using it, and then I fell in love with it. I immediately go into my contour. This is one that kind of changes pretty frequently though. I'm currently obsessed with the e.l.f. cream palette, not powder. This is also another product that literally came from my boyfriend because he just did not use it. And I think I have another one as well in like mine that I had when I started doing drag and I just never used. A few other contour products that I have used in the past though. The Morphe ones are really, really good for cream. I got that for free as well. And the Charlotte Tilbury, super basic like white girl makeup in my opinion. However, this one specifically, it is shade medium deep. So good. It's like so gray tone. It's insane. I literally just stopped using it because I hate when makeup gets all over my hands. That's why I have a little wet towel here constantly. And it is definitely one of those that is very, very, very messy. Once I have my contour on though, I immediately go in with my blush. This is one item that definitely changes depending on what I'm painting for. If it's for, you know, a lighter audience or YouTube, I always go in with this very cute, I think it's Revolution. This was literally on sale for $1. And I snatched it up. A few other ones that I do use. One that I go to constantly is the e.l.f. one. It is so incredibly good. This one is in shade Pinky Promise. The only thing about these is I always like to be careful with these because they are very dewy. I have very bad pores, horrible pores. And I wash my face very religiously and my pores are just so bad. So I like to keep anything wet from that area till as long as possible, just because I feel like it helps with the pore processing process of the makeup. I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. soft white brightening corrector. I don't even know if they really make this anymore, but it was like super cheap. It's like $3-4. And I literally bought it one time because I was like, you know, hey, let's try it. Maybe it's better than the LA one. It is really, really good. It's really, really good. So I kind of go in and just lay it down, and then I'll go in with my LA Girl, and I will just put that right on top and blend it out. And I just make my entire nose completely cocaine white. And this is where I have made it so simple and easy for myself, because I used to sit there and struggle for hours making a perfect nose. I literally just take this this blush, swipe it right here, a little 1-2. Sometimes if I'm doing a pink eye, which today I'm doing a pink eye, I will take just a tad bit and put it right above the eyebrow. And I literally just swipe it up into the nostril. And this starts the base contour of the nose to where it's not super orange. It doesn't look like you put your nose in a polished but it also makes it very smooth. And then when I go in and cut the sides here in a second, it just makes it even more. Speaking of though, I'm gonna go ahead and start laying down the base of where my concealer is gonna go. I do this in a very quick and rushed, I don't wanna say rushed, but fast process, so that way it's immediately set. So I'm gonna kind of do everything really quickly and voice my way through it, question mark. But I go in first with the e.l.f. one. As mentioned, I really like how it is that thicker base. So I do lay it right in the corner part. And then I put it also right above my lip, and then just a dab on my chin. Then I go in with the LA Girl white, and I take it on a brush because I feel like it adds to the thickness of the concealer. And I just go in and start dragging it on top of that e.l.f. Usually if you put it into the blush, it's gonna get fixed regardless, unless you take it like way far out and it gets too crazy. But you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that at all. So now that I'm looking mostly ghostly and terrifying, I'm gonna go in really quick and spray the base portion of my face. I do this so that it kind of gets that little stickiness before I go in and blend it out. I'm gonna do this off camera really quick just because I don't want to get my microphone wet and ruin it more than it already has. So I'm gonna go in quickly and just blend that out, and I'll be right back. Now that I have all of that blended out for the base layer, I'm gonna go back in with that blush, that little Revolution brush that is gonna help us so much here in a second. I'm just gonna add a little bit back in to where that white starts to blend in, just to kind of give that gradient effect. I'm really, really obsessed with a blush gradient effect, and do as you want when it comes to your blush. Everyone's blush is and should be different. I get told all the time that my blush is way too much, and this is actually my blush down. So do as you please. We're gonna go back in with a little bit of that foundation. We're not gonna do a lot because I don't want it to be like applying another layer. I honestly want it to be just kind of adding and making it more full coverage. So I just go in the bottom area of my face, and I start to blend it into that blush and contour area so that it really makes it that nice gradient effect. Specifically the facial hair. I'm a trans girl who shaves nearly every single day. So I unfortunately have some really sensitive facial hair, and I feel like going in with that stippled foundation brush kind of helps with adding that full coverage that is needed in that facial hair area. I'm just gonna go in lightly with my sponge and just kind of make sure it's all nice and blended. I usually go in with a specific blush sponge, especially if I'm doing like this is usually how crazy my blush is. It's like high pigment red. And it's usually so crazy that I had to like go in and blend it into the contour to make sure it just doesn't look crazy. When I'm doing more of like a lighter shade though, I really don't have that issue, and I can just kind of dabble back over with my foundation. But this is the part that is a little insane for me. I hate there being like a pausing spot where I feel like the makeup creases and the powder doesn't set. So in order to get it as authentic as possible, we're gonna try our best. So the first thing I always do whenever it comes to the powdering part is I go in and I immediately spray my face so that it gets as wet as possible. I use a bunch of different setting sprays, and setting sprays is something that I'm constantly trying new stuff of. And I'll go into the other ones that I use and all of them that I use. But the one that I use is like a base spray. I usually do it if I've been doing a lot of makeup recently, I will do it before I start makeup, and I always do it in between wet layers of makeup because I feel like it's really good for the skin. And that's the e.l.f. Stay All Night Micro Setting Mist. There's a few different versions of this. I'm currently using the blue one just because I feel like it's the best, but for the face part at least. So I'm gonna go in and just spray everything. And then the second that I have that blended out and looking not creasy, I go in with an itty bitty sponge. It's literally so tiny. And I do the itty bitty one because I feel like it really gets into all of that crease. And I use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. It is honestly the powder I have used for the longest time because it is so good if you do not have great pores, which we've already discussed. I do not. The last part I do of the like setting process is without trying to move my forehead lines, I just go in and lightly blend with my foundation and set it. So one thing I'm very huge on when it comes to makeup is doing it as quick as possible. So a way that I do that is when doing a pink eye. I feel like a pink eye is one of the easiest, especially if you do a lot of blush, it's one of the easiest to lay down. So when I was coming up with this video and the idea of what I wanted to do, I obviously last time did my go-to face. I don't really have a go-to face, I feel like, anymore. Honestly, because I really love trying different things when it comes to like eye shapes. And most of the time when I'm doing drag now, it's for the preferred stars, which is usually different themes and different things to try. So I really don't have a go-to face anymore. One color that I do often though is pink. So I figured let me do a pink eye. Let me put a little more pink in that eye. And then I go into pink, which I will get into the shades in just a second, don't worry. And then I immediately go in and just start putting that all over my eye, like literally all over my eye. And then before I do anything else, I go in really quick and set underneath that eye just before it gets like too washed out and crazy. My biggest holy grail for a white eyeshadow that I 10 out of 10 always recommend is Sugar Pill Taco. They're the best. They are really expensive, unfortunately, but if you can find them at a deal price, and you can get a few, definitely recommend because they will last you forever. So I usually, especially if I'm doing my go-to like pink eyeshadow, I will just take it, kind of wipe it from the middle, and then I will just plump some white right here. And it doesn't need a lot because that little bit of white is gonna go a very long way. And then once I have it to like a blended okay point, you don't even have to let it like super dry because it does not take long. I just go in with that Taco by Sugar Pill and I just place it right on top. I don't go all the way to the end though because I'm about to go back in with pink and blend it back in. So once again, kind of save you some time and some trips, and don't do 1,000 things that are not needed. When I go back in with that pink though and just start blending it into the end to kind of make it not as carried over. One of my biggest pet peeves, while I have it in the corner though, I just like to take the little bit remaining and start blending it back into that white. Before I go in and do that entire thing once again off camera, I'm just gonna take a little bitty sculpting brush that I can use for a pink, and I'm just gonna go underneath and start the bottom part of the eyeshadow, so that way when I pick up the next part, which will be the liner. It just makes it so much easier. And then finally, before I go off camera and do the other eye just to match it, once again, same thing, just opposite eye. I do want to go over really quickly. I'm not very picky. Actually, I am kind of picky about eyeshadow palettes because I really only use one brand, which is Cara Beauty. A super random brand that I've only been able to find at TJ Maxx. So 10 out of 10, recommend Howdy Beauty if you can find it. They're usually like $6 or $7 at TJ Maxx. If you can't find that, because you just can't find it, Morphe is another good one, although Morphe has gotten very basic and trashy. They're not fun anymore. They used to have very fun colors, and now they're like all browns and coarse and trash. And if you can afford Sugar Pill, definitely recommend any of their eyeshadows. They're fantastic. But I'm going to go off camera and do the other eye just to match it. And then I will be back to show you the finishing eye products before we get into the finishing face products and details. So really quick, I'm going to explain what I did to the liner. As mentioned, of course, I did the pink eye, the other pink eye off camera. And then I went ahead and did my liner just specifically because most of my liner would have had to do off camera. Also, I don't do a liner. I just kind of do like a shadowing. And that really is just very simple. So I take this incredible Essence super precise eyeliner. This eyeliner is like $4. And it is the best one that I have found that does not move. So 10 out of 10, highly recommend. But I just honestly go over the base of my eye and I take it to the end to about where if I close or tilt my head with my eyes open, not close my eyes, it kind of meets at like a point. And then I put it on, let it dry for a bit. The second I feel like it's like 2 cents of dry, I immediately take a black eyeshadow and start like blending it in on the corners just to kind of smoke it out and give it that really smoky effect. Usually when I do a pink eye, I don't do a lot of darkness to the pink because I like it to be very pink and glittery. However, today for the overall aesthetic, we are gonna kind of go in and lean into, I've been doing a lot of darker makeup, so I feel like it just makes sense. So I'm gonna take a, this is the NYX Beetlejuice Pinstripe Duo Liner. It has this in that I have never used because it's like a gold shimmer. But this liner was like $2 and I have been obsessed with it. It's honestly my go-to. It's what I use to do my eyebrows as well. Whenever it dies, I'm gonna be so incredibly sad because it is the only pen liner that I've liked. And I don't like NYX's like jumbo one, so I don't know what I'm gonna do whenever I am done with this one. But I'm gonna go in and just darken the crease and blend that out with a black shadow. And then I'm also gonna go in and do a little white. And then of course I'll do that to the other side. And I do a lot of black liner with 90% of my makeup just because I really like the like drama of like a dark crease with anything that I do. So I felt like this was very natural to do, even if it is with the pink, which I don't, that's probably the least one I do them out the most is the pink and black. And then normally this is when I would go in with a white liner and make like a pop of white. I'm not gonna do this tonight just because I kind of want it to be very glitter besides that black. So I think I'm gonna leave it the white inner corner. However, just to kind of give some aspect of what white liners I love, because I am a huge fan of a white liner and I feel like they're very, very picky to come, or hard, not picky to come across. The one I'm absolutely obsessed with is the e.l.f. one. It is so incredibly good. However, I have found that they do not make it anymore, so that is very unfortunate. And when this one is gone, I don't know what I'm gonna do. The Ulta Beauty Color Punch liners, the white one, it's called Diamond. It is really, really good whenever I do this crease because it's really a huge brush for a white liner. So I feel like it's just so easy to just kind of go on and do. I'm gonna go back in later and do like white specks throughout it. But for now, I'm just gonna go and map this other crease out. And also I'm gonna go in and do an inner corner. I wasn't sure if I wanted to at first, But just to give us some more content on the channel, I'm gonna go in and just draw a line right here. So went ahead and did that one on the other side. For those who know me, for those who see me in person, my eyebrows and my liner and my creases will never be even. And that's just how it's gonna be. So don't ever expect it. And honestly, you shouldn't expect that for yourself because that's very toxic. Anyways, so moving on, I do like to go in next once I have all of that done. I'm gonna go in and do finishing details of the eye, such as like glitter. I'm gonna do some little white dots all over because I've been finding that to be very cute recently. But before I do all the finishing touches, I do like to go in and finish my like face part. So that way, literally, once I put like all the glitter and everything on, I'm just kind of done for the night. So I've kind of been going in between for when it comes to like contour powder. This Iggy Azalea X BH Cosmetics contour palette, totally plastic. I believe this is totally Snatched. That's the shade of it. Didn't realize that's how they did it. Other ones that I use is Morphe. My go-to, like especially if I'm like on stage, is the Anastasia one in shade Rich. Just because I feel like it's very neutral and good for on stage. But once I have that down, I go in with my lovely handy dandy Juvia's Place blush. This is like my go-to blush. Like if I just want to feel the most pink and rosiest person ever, this is what I do. And I go in with the top one and I just immediately start packing that all in that edge. And then once I have that on the temple, I go in on my chin and I just add some blush there. If you have not noticed in the past and now, I have never contoured my chin because for those who do not know, I am fat. So whenever I contour my chin, it just leaves a very harsh line. And to me, that is not cute and that is not pretty. And we do not like chin straps. So therefore, I just put blush on the end of my chin and I feel like it really brings in everything without making any weird, gross shades. And then the last thing I do before really doing like the final finishing touches is I just go in and I make sure all of that powder is like very pressed in, because if not, when you go in to do this step, it is going to massively mess it up. So please, for the love of God, if you are taking any tips or tips from me, please make sure to press that in before, because it's gonna look crazy and then you're gonna blame it on me and I don't want that. Then I go in with the spray that I use kind of like for skin purposes, not for long lasting, not for glowiness, which is that elf spray. And I just go ahead and spray it all over the face. And I don't do a heavy concentrate on the center part of the face, and you're about to see why. But I just do it around to kind of go ahead and get that powder starting to set. Then while that is setting, I go in with a tiny powder puff that I use specifically for this part. And I go in with that Sugar Peel Taco and I start pressing that in to the inner part of my face. And see, that immediately just brightens everything so much. It makes it look so great. So then I go in and I cover my eye, usually just so that the eyeliner doesn't get like muddy and everything. And I completely drench my face with whatever face setting spray I'm using, and like completely drench. I feel like the more wet you get it, the better it is. I learned this while watching Deja Sky, I believe. She said if you do a little bit of blush while your face is like wet, it makes it pop even more. And oh my God, she was not lying. Like, look at that. So good. Last thing before I go in and do like extreme finishing details, which of course I'm gonna do with you on camera just to kind of show you. I do my little highlights, which are probably my favorite thing, and something I used to feel like I was known for, but I don't really feel like being known for anything in makeup is worth it anymore. So I just like to do it. But I take this NYX Glow Shots cream like liquid glitter, and I put it right on my chin and then right in between my eyebrows. The in between the eyebrows is very, very important because I love to be shiny there. Then I take the edge, and I used to do a white dot on the end of my nose, and I kind of stopped doing that because I felt like when I started sweating and it started mixing with the red, it did not look right at all. It looked like I was very runny nosed. So I just like to take the end of it and just put it right on the tip of my nose. And then one of my favorite things recently that I'm so obsessed with is this Half Magic Euphoria glitter. I'm very picky about glitter because I feel like a lot of it for the skin is like not good and makes your skin look like trash. This one is not. This one is so incredibly good. I just take a bit of that. Actually, I dig in there. And I just, so good. And then I'm gonna go in and do my brow, which has probably changed the most just because I've been experimenting, trying new things. I'm gonna take that NYX liner and I'm literally just gonna go in and start doing little strikes. Recently started doing this because I really like the thickness and the fullness of the way these look compared to, I don't know, just like the overall like pull of the other ones. One thing I always do, no matter if I do these or the normal ones, just because I feel like it's so aesthetically pleasing and fun, is I take a white eyeliner and I go in, especially in the front. I don't always do it necessarily in the back parts, but I always go in the front and add little white streaks to make it blend a little bit better. Because we hate a harsh eyebrow front. They look very scary. So I went ahead and did the eyebrows off camera. I also went ahead and did finishing touches like the little white dots and the little black marks as well. Every single time I do these eyebrows this way, I swear to God, they get bigger and bigger. But you know what? It is okay. I'm kind of living for the little marks of it all. So I am gonna go ahead and start the process of doing my lips on camera. The only things I have left are lips, glitter, and then lashes, which I am going to quickly do on camera so that I can get into the full outfit of it all. I'm a lip liner girl. I know a lot of people aren't. I swear by lip liners. I think they're so incredibly good. I go between a lot. My favorite ones are the e.l.f. ones. They are so incredibly good. However, today I am going to use the Revlon one. I always do a nude, and everyone says a nude is the same. I disagree. Nudes are not the same. You have like a dark nude, you have like a pinky nude, you have an orangey nude. They're not all the same at all. I today want like a darker nude to go in with like the darkness of the crease. So I'm specifically going in with the Revlon one because the only other one I have is like brown, and I don't want to do brown. So I'm gonna go in. When I'm doing my lips, I always like to just literally go from the edge and then just go straight up to where I put the Cupid's bow and then connect it on the bottom. I usually go for a pretty big overdrawn lip. I used to do like tiny lips, and I wasn't feeling them anymore, especially the bigger my creases got. So I started doing more of a bigger lip. I'm noticing a little moment here. I'm gonna go in with this Essence Black Travel Liner and just quickly put it at the bottom of my eye and into my waterline. So I wear stacked lashes. I wear about 3 pairs of stacked lashes. And I usually go in with a black liner and put on top. However, for it being the sake of the video and the sake of time, I'm just going to pop them right on. I'm also very, very specific about the lash glue that I wear. I only will wear like the IMB. I feel like it's the only one that works. And I specifically like the waterproof, or if I can't find that one, just the regular one. But I feel like it dries the fastest and it honestly stays on the most. Do not use Weave Bond for your lashes, please. While those dry onto place, really quickly just to explain the lashes, as mentioned, I said I stack about 3 pairs of lashes. I believe they're the like IMB 3D collection. This one says 101. I don't know if that was the actual one or if it was just one that I had lying around that I put as a case. But I literally just stacked them on top of each other and snip them. They're about $3.99 a piece. I believe at the wig store down the street from me, you can get like a pack of 2 for like $6. So I usually just do that, get about 2 or 4. And I just put them all together and they last me so incredibly long. I don't even want to admit how long they have lasted me at times. But while those are drying, usually I go ahead and start on the opposite side with the mascara just to blend them in. Mascara to me is mascara. I don't really care about mascara half the time. If I get it for free, I'm gonna use it until there's nothing left. And that is definitely what I'm doing in this case. If I had to buy one, it's probably just gonna be the Maybelline one because they're like super cheap. Or the Essence one, they're like $4.99. Yeah, I don't really care. So this is, the one I'm currently using is the Fenty Beauty, and it's hella thick. Once I have them both lathered in mascara, I usually like to just take my fingers and run them through just to kind of get like all the gunk out of it and the excess, because it gets really, really annoying when the face gets wet and gooey. Now that I have all that done, like I said, the last thing I usually do is put on lip gloss because unfortunately I usually am a vapor or smoker, so I don't like to have sticky stuff on my mouth while doing so. So I'm going to do that whenever I put on the finished look, and of course I will tell you some lip gloss options. But I do want to really quickly try out this new setting spray that I got. It's a Tarte LifeLock. Like I said, I'm going through so many setting sprays to see what I like and what I prefer. Some 2 that I'm really on currently is the MAC Fix-It and the Urban Decay All Nighter, but specifically the Glow one because I hate the normal one. I actually hate all of them because they smell like onions for some reason. I feel like I'm the only one that thinks that. I'm gonna spray it all over my face like I would normally do in the sense of a setting spray. And then it will fade into the finished product. So we're gonna spray, and shazam. So this is the finished product with lashes, accessories, outfit, everything in full. I'm sure there will be a little shown of the photo shoot. Of course, since this is the 3rd year of the Preferred channel, we decided to celebrate with a big old 3. These were actually made, and I know they just took all of my nose off, so ignore that completely. But these were actually made for a 3 mix by Britney Spears. Hence the Britney Spears shirt in the entire intro as a little like teaser. But yeah, this is the finished look. I was kind of going for, totally forgot to put these cuffs on too. Kind of going for like business chic because, you know, this is the year that we are getting the things together for the channel, and we are producing the videos again on the YouTubes and making them well known again and bringing them back, making them more professional, businessy. I also did these as a little like a photo shoot with Gina. We also did a video with Gina where I put Gina into the full Preferred drag and did her completely up. So make sure to look out for that video. That video is coming very, very soon. So the overall look, as mentioned, was just very businessy. I pulled the look out in literally 2 seconds to go with the glasses and to match Gina. But we did it, we made a look, we created some little moments. As mentioned, I'm sure the entire photo shoot will be shared. But make sure to follow on these socials at The Only Preferred to see looks such as this to come. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for a brand new video on the channel officially every single Sunday. Now that we have officially hit 3 years, we're gonna keep it going, keeping more videos coming every single Sunday, so stay tuned for those. We're gonna try to aim back at 2 o'clock too. We're gonna try to go back to 2 o'clock p.m. and get it official. Until next time though, stay queer, stay preferred, and always stay ready for another 3 years of the Preferred channel.